Okay, let's look at something that has nothing to do with electronics and see how the names are used and how things changed as we use them. Okay, we have a tree here. A tree, we cut off a section of a tree and we make a door with it. And then if we flip this door, we call it something else, a different thing, because it functions for different things, and we just add 4 legs onto it and we call it a table. Now this is just to simplify. We know that the table, we take it straight from the tree, but in this case it's just that if you can flip the door flat and probably remove this, you will get something similar to this by just adding four legs onto it. So how does this relate to what we're talking about? What this example just shows you is that every time you use something for a different function, it changes the name. We change the name of it. That means we package it in a different form. For instance, a door is still a tree, even though we could actually cut it, a section of it, and still call it a tree. We could cut a section of a tree and use it in this fashion and still call it a tree, because it's still a tree. Nothing has changed. It's still a tree, but the names comes from what we use something for. That means if we package a tree in this fashion, we call it something else altogether because it's used for a different function. And if we cut a tree in this fashion, we call it another thing, even though this and this is the same as this. Now let's look at how electronics is taught. Now electronics is taught in the similar way, but they don't really actually show you how this functionality works. You see, this is how at school you are taught about electronics. What happens here is that you have a switch. Basically this is it. You have a switch, you have a battery, and you have a light bulb. Now when you switch on, the light bulb goes on because current starts to flow. You switch it off. The same thing is, this circuit and this circuit are the same, including this circuit. They are just the same. But now the beauty of this is that you can package them into something, and you can package them into a plastic container, or just repackaging them, you can give them a different name. In this way, in a classroom, this is called a battery lamp and a light. It demonstrates current flow. But do you know that the same circuit, you can actually use it to show that it can be used as a foot sensor? For instance, let's just say that you have wired it in this way, and you put a carpet on top of the sensor, and a person walks, steps on top of it, and something happens, like a light bulb or a ringer or something like that. That will, or a counter. Basically it can be said that this is a foot. It senses the foot of how many people are crossing, just because they are stepping on top of the switch, and it is telling that somebody has just stepped on top of it by using a light bulb. The same circuit can be used to say that this is an alarm circuit. As simple as it is, can be used as an alarm, because what happens is that when somebody steps over, he just hits the switch and a light comes on, and we can see that somebody has just tripped or stepped over the switch. This mechanism of switching That is what the sensor is all about. This circuit is just the same as that. It's just that at school they just put a resistor, but a light bulb is replacing the resistor in this instance, and we have flipped the circuit up on we have moved the switch on the left hand side, meaning that if somebody touches it in this instance, that's assuming the person is standing here and he touches it, that means it's a touch sensor because it is sensing that something has changed. So basically, what is a sensor? A sensor is not something sophisticated, but it's a process where or a device that changes state. It can be any state. Just that it changes state, it can be used for a certain thing. It can be used as a food sensor. It can be used as a touch sensor, depending on how you are packaging it, how you are putting it. That means if you are flipping it in a different direction, it shows that now this person, whenever he touches here, something happens on the output side. This is what a sensor is all about. No matter what kind of sensor you're talking about, it's a radar, it's all types of sensors. The mechanism comes back to the fact that it's just a switch that changes state. Now we're gonna see different types of sensors and see that how this is actually derived from there.